The Alberta Teachers Association wants the government of Alberta to tell journalists how to report on provincial exam results. Now, I'd like the Alberta government to tell these teachers about this little thing called the Charter of Rights and Freedoms that protects the free press, but I suspect neither group has all that great of a grasp on it. The Alberta Teachers Association, or the ATA, is calling upon the Alberta government to make reporters follow the recommendations of the Canadian Psychological Association when reporting on provincial exam results. Now, this is the motion here from the ATA executive. It reads, "The failure on the part of the press to acknowledge the many other factors other than schooling that are known to influence test performance is misleading and damaging to the integrity of teacher professionalism and student well-being. Be it resolved that the Teachers Association urge the Department of Education to encourage the media to adhere to the joint position statement by the Canadian Psychological Association and the Canadian Association of School Psychologists on the Canadian press coverage of the province-wide achievement test results in reporting and interpreting diploma examination results, school awarded marks, and achievement test results." Now, the recommendations of the Canadian Psychological Association include having journalists who are reporting on exam results use a full disclaimer in their articles. This is the recommendation here. As a further means of avoiding any misunderstanding on the part of the public, we recommend that a note similar to the following should appear in a prominent position together with any school-by-school breakdown of results. Because children are not randomly assigned to schools, it is impossible to determine the cause of any differences in test results that occur between schools without access to further information. Although this newspaper publishes the following results as a service to the public, we strongly discourage the public from making unwarranted comparisons that may lead to erroneous conclusions. Are these people out of their minds? The ATA says that the failure of the press to acknowledge other factors other than schooling, teaching really, is misleading and damaging to the integrity of teacher professionalism and student well-being. But I think that's probably a pretty disingenuous excuse. Teachers demanding that the government tell journalists how to do their jobs is damaging to teacher professionalism since it demonstrates an extreme lack of understanding of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the free press. But there's something else at play here. Alberta test results are tumbling. They are sinking like a stone across the whole province. An international grade 4 aptitude test taken in 2015 showed Alberta students scoring an average of 484 in math. That's a 40-point drop since 1995, but it's also a very drastic recent drop. The average score in 2005 was 505, and it was 507 in 2011. Then along came Discovery Math, and our numbers tanked. In Edmonton, according to the results of the provincial achievement tests, the percentage of grade 6 students who are meeting the acceptable standard for math has dropped consistently since 2014. In Calgary, students are falling even further behind the provincial average. Here's what I think is happening. Those provincial achievement tests for grade 6 math are coming up again this month and next month. And so the teachers union is just trying to cover their asses as they know bad results are going to continue to roll in for their crazy curriculum update. There's been an SJW teaching focus and a lack of real consequences for failing teachers. Even as math and general aptitude scores continue to decline, the teachers union continues to make demands for more salary, something we would absolutely never see happen in the private sector. If you're not doing your job or you're doing your job poorly, you certainly wouldn't get a raise then, would you? And do the teachers union cronies really think that we don't know that kids in schools are different? There have always been different socioeconomic classes in education. There have always been poor kids, hungry kids, affluent kids, and schools that serve these different demographics in different neighborhoods all across the country. Why is the teachers union pretending like income inequality is suddenly a new situation here in Canada? And actually, this idea that different socioeconomic demographics are driving this change in educational outcomes is really just, a garbage excuse. StatsCan data from 2015 shows that there were 1.2 million children across Canada living in low-income households, but the share of low-income population that are children has decreased faster than any other demographic in Canada. So the teachers' unions need to come up with a different excuse for why they are failing our kids. These falling test results for school-aged children are only going to harm the Canadian economy and the future of these school kids. They're going to be damned to struggle for the rest of their lives. Researchers at Princeton's Educational Testing Service analyzed American millennials, the first group of kids who were subject to these new trends in education. The researchers found that American millennials fall short in the skills employers want most: literacy, practical math, and problem solving in technology-rich environments. Alberta's teachers' unions would rather ask their pals in the NDP government to try to control the media rather than teach kids the basics effectively. And I would not be surprised if the freedom-hating NDP obliged them. But what would we expect from a union that paid David Suzuki, who once called for the jailing of people he disagreed with, somewhere between $30,000 to $50,000 to speak to them at their convention? Maybe the teachers' union would benefit from having an economist rather than a fake scientist speak to them at their conventions. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. What you just saw there was my daily video here at the Rebel, but did you know that every week I do a full-length show where I talk about issues facing Canadian families? To get access to my show and the rest of our incredible premium content, treat yourself to a Rebel subscription today.